Hi, this is Miss Wright, and I am going to go over epic similes in the Odyssey, translated by Robert Fitzgerald. This is a beautiful photo of the island of Ithaca. We were told in the beginning of the Odyssey that it's a rocky island, and this is an example of its beautiful, secluded beaches. Homeric simile, epic simile are basically the same thing. The only difference is a Homeric simile is an epic simile that is created by Homer. And it's an extended comparison. It usually goes on for several lines. It's very vivid in detail. Sometimes it's almost like a story within the story. It usually has an emotional context to it, and usually very vivid, quite memorable. Okay? This is a doe and her baby, a fawn. Fawns in a lion's lair, as if a doe put down her litter of sucklings there, while she quested a glen, or cropped some grassy hollow. Ha! Then the Lord returns to his own bed, and deals out wretched doom on both alike. So will Odysseus deal out doom on these. So what's happening here? We have a fawn who finds an empty place to put her babies, not realizing it is a lion's lair. She goes off to maybe get some food for her baby. While she is away, the Lord is the lion, the owner of that lair, returns to his own bed. Now, when you have a lion and some baby deer, it's not going to be good. So it says he deals out wretched doom on both alike. So when the mother returns, she's killed, the babies are killed. This is being compared. You look for the word so. It's a hinge, a linchpin in many of the epic similes. When Odysseus comes, he's going to deal out doom. Who is going to be killed when he returns? The suitors. That is what this is about. And the emotional context here, well, one, it's foreshadowing what will probably happen later on in the story. And this is from very early on. And two, it brings up images of revenge, slaughter, blood. You have a sense of retribution that's going to come when Odysseus comes back. Now, this is a beautiful picture of a lion with a baby deer. But I don't think this is what's going to happen when the lion comes back to his lair. Epic simile. Penelope at that hour in her high chamber lay silent, tasting neither food nor drink, and thought of nothing but her princely son. Could he escape, or would they find and kill him? Her mind turning at bay like a cornered lion, in whom fear comes as hunters close in the ring. Now, technically, this is not an epic simile because the simile part is really only these two lines, and it doesn't actually go into enough detail. I included it for several reasons. One being it focuses on Penelope, and it talks about Penelope as a lion just the way it spoke of Odysseus as the lion. Remember, these are two people who are very well suited for each other. So the poet describes them in similar ways, except that he is the lion come with vengeance. She is a lion who is cornered. Both lions are very dangerous. If you corner a lion, that lion has no way to get out. It's coming straight for you. So right now, Penelope is feeling like a lioness who has been cornered. And that means that she's still very dangerous. She's still a formidable character in the story, even though she seems to spend a lot of time grieving and crying, there's still a lot of strength there. And we should look for that strength. That inner core of Penelope will not be diminished. Here she is, the lioness. Another epic simile says, a gust of wind hitting a pile of chaff will scatter all the parched stuff far and wide. Just so, when this gigantic billow struck, the boat's big timbers flew apart. Odysseus clung to a single beam like a jockey riding. That was from page 91, and a lot of people don't know what chaff is. Chaff, this is an example of chaff. Chaff is the outer part of a crop that will not be used for food. And it sometimes is spread on the ground, or it sometimes is used maybe for the animals, but it is not the part, it is the part of the crop that is going to not be used. And this is a beautiful picture of Ithaca again, with its olive trees, I believe. Another epic simile. What a dear welcome thing life seems to children whose father in the extremity recovers after some weakening and malignant illness. His pangs are gone, the gods have delivered him. So dear and welcome to Odysseus the sight of land, of woodland on that morning. So on page 92, Odysseus finally makes it back to land, and he is as happy to step foot on land and know that he is on his way home as children. So Odysseus is being compared to the children of a man who was near death. Now remember, in these ancient times, for a family to lose their father would plunge them into abject poverty. He was the breadwinner. He was the one who provided and protected. So to lose a father was to lose a lot. So for this family, the fact that the father recovers is great joy. It is a jubilation. And that is exactly how Odysseus feels. He is ecstatic to be able to set foot on dry land and know that he is on his way home. This is a picture of a man who is obviously maybe very ill. Okay, epic simile. An octopus, when you drag one from its chamber, comes up with suckers full of tiny stones. Odysseus left the skin of his great hand torn on that rock ledge as the waves submerged him. So here's an octopus, and if we were to swim down and try to pull him from his hiding place, he might come up with lots of tiny stones stuck to the suckers of his different tendrils here. And this is the way Odysseus held on to the rocks for dear life as he was trying to make it on shore. A man in a distant field, no hearth fires near, will hide a fresh brand in his bed of embers to keep a spark alive for the next day. So in the leaves Odysseus hid himself, while over him Athena showered sleep, that his distress should end. And soon, in quiet sleep she sealed his cherished eyes. So what's being compared here? You have Odysseus hunkering down, covering himself with leaves, and it's being compared to how a man might take an ember that he wants to remain hot and stick it in the ashes of the fire, hoping that ember will not go out and he'll be able to use it one more day to start a fire, to keep that spark alive. So the next day he can have a fire. And that is how Odysseus tucks himself deep into these leaves to hide himself from any prying eyes. Okay, so that's all of the similes that I'm going to do for you. There are over 20 similes in this work. So you have a lot of other similes to look for as you go along. We will be analyzing them. We will be illustrating them. And remember, there are different emotional contexts for each simile. So you don't just try to figure out what's happening, but what is the feeling, the mood that is created with each of the epic similes. Okay? Have a great day. Shout out to my awesome students, my great classes, and I will see you back at school.